but he has everything you need: the length, the height, the athleticism. It's just all about refining his game. What's up, guys? It's your boy Damian Parson here at the Draft Network to talk to you about the Kansas City Chiefs 2022 NFL Draft Class. Of course, this is a team that went through some changes with Tyreek Hill being traded, letting go of Tyrann Mathieu, the leader of their defense. Let's see how they were able to replace some of that talent. Let's just jump right on into it. In the first round, they had 2 first-round picks. With pick 21, their first pick in the first round, they traded up with New England to draft cornerback from Washington, Trent McDuffie. Trent McDuffie adds toughness to the secondary. He is a gritty, physical corner. He may not have the prototypical 6'1", 6'2" size, but he plays big, right? He's going to help them in the run game. I project him to be a day one starter because this is a secondary that has had some issues for quite some time. So adding Trent McDuffie, a guy who is also scheme versatile, he can help you with man coverage. He can help you from off as well as zone. That gives that defensive coordinator some room and some flexibility, right? So that's what you look forward to. So I expect Trent McDuffie to be a prominent starter, a day one starter for the Kansas City Chiefs secondary. Let's go ahead and switch over to pick 30. George KARLAFTIS. Coming into the draft, he was one of the top names at the edge position, and he still made it in the first round. George KARLAFTIS, similar to Trent McDuffie, will add physicality and toughness. He gives them that physical, thick body presence at the end of the defensive line that's going to set the edge, be physical with those tight ends in the run game, force running backs back inside to the teeth of the defense where that's where the help is, right? In the passing game and trying to get after the passer, he can collapse the pocket from the edge, but he may see some snaps. I project him to be a day one starter as well, but he may see some snaps kicked inside, side by side with Chris Jones. But looking at what they're doing, they're adding toughness, and I love that. George KARLAFTIS is a physical and strong presence. I expect him to have a nice imprint on this defense. Again, we talked about Tyreek Hill. They went wide receiver in the second round. With the 54th pick, they selected wide receiver from Western Michigan, SKYY Moore, a run after the catch, dynamic receiver. He really can make plays with the ball in his hands. No, he's not Tyreek Hill. But when you want to run those in breakers, those slants across the middle of the field, he's fearless. Like I said, he is tough, and he has the hands that someone like Patrick Mahomes, with his arm angles and his arm strength, he needs someone he can rely on. So I don't expect him or project him to be a day one starter, but I do project him to have a nice fixture in this offense because, again, they need the help offensively by letting go or trading Tyreek Hill. I think SKYY Moore is going to have a nice imprint offensively. Let's go to the 62nd pick in the second round. They went defense again. Safety from Cincinnati, BRYAN Cook. BRYAN Cook is solid, right? Some people even call him boring because he's not flashy. He just gets the job done. He's a headsy, smart defender, physical. He can play in split safety looks. He can also come down in the box. I've also seen him on tape cover some slots in coverage as well. But he's a guy that's going to make sure guys are lined up. He's a high-level communicator. And again, his FBI, his football intelligence and IQ is there. He's someone that, the Bill Belichick says, just get your job done, do your job. BRYAN Cook is going to do that for the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Again, I don't expect him or project him to be a day one starter. I think he's going to be more in a backup role, more sub package possibly, but I do think that we will see him take the field for the Kansas City Chiefs. One of my favorite picks. Third round pick 103, Leo Chenal. One, as we're seeing, right? Toughness, as I continue to talk about. Leo Chenal is a physical, violent, tough linebacker. He's a guy that plays the run extremely well. He can stand up as an outside linebacker, stand up on the line of scrimmage, but he also is a tremendous blitzer. So in the conference where you have these talented quarterbacks that you have to face week in and week out in the AFC West, you need someone that you can send up the A gaps and even in the B gaps and really put pressure on the interior offensive line. Leo Chenal is going to bring such a physical presence to this defense, and I love that they're trying to implement that. So Leo Chenal, I don't think he'll be a day one starter either. We have to, because he does have some limitations in coverage, but I do believe that we will see him on the field. Leo Chenal is going to be a big piece for this defense. Sticking with defense in the fourth round, pick 135. He shined at the Senior Bowl. Joshua Williams, cornerback from Fayetteville State, an athletic long corner that can play some press man. He can play some zone coverage as well. He's more of a developmental piece. I don't expect him to. He may not play much at all early in the season. He's someone that still has to work on his technique and refine some things, but with his athletic profile, with his physical attributes and his physical profile, this is a young kid that you want to see exactly how they implement him into this defense. Because again, cornerback has been an issue. Improving this secondary has been a priority, as we see from this draft. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Joshua Williams steps in, but he has everything you need: the length, the height, the athleticism. It's just all about refining his game. In the 5th round, they went in at pick 145, DARIAN KINNARD from Kentucky. A physical, well, he was a tackle at Kentucky, technically. He was their right tackle, but he's projected better at guard. For an offensive line that has kind of been built to play more downhill in the run game, DARIAN KINNARD fits that bill. He is a violent guy inside the tackles when you want to really run the ball. When you see him latch, get his hands on defenders, he can drive those feet and he can get vertical, right? So he doesn't have the foot speed or the quickness or the athleticism to play predominantly at tackle in the NFL. But you put him in the box, let him wrestle, let him beat up on some of these interior D linemen, and just let it become just a ballroom brawl. DARIAN KINNARD is that guy. He's going to add just some more physicality to already physical front 5 for the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. Jaylen Watson, another cornerback in the 7th round, pick 243. This is a guy I definitely think that he's going to have an impact on special teams. Another developmental cornerback that you don't expect him to play a lot defensively, but again, as a gunner, put him on as a gunner on punt return or punt coverage and kick coverage. This is a young man that can come in and make an impact, because at the end of the day, you need to play the field position game in the NFL. So adding a young man like this, it helps. 7th round, 251, pick 251, ISAIH PACHECO, running back from Rutgers. You talk about a body beautiful young man. He is rocked up. He's explosive. He's fast, and he's got some physicality to his game. Rutgers offense wasn't much to really, blink an eye at, right? But this is a young man that can come in, again, find his way on special teams. I project him to be a little bit lower in the depth chart, but he's someone that can make this roster. And again, with his athleticism and speed, he adds something that none of the other backs in this offense have, and that's explosiveness. And anything we know about the Kansas City Chiefs, their offense has always been, what we know, explosive. So I think ISAIH PACHECO is someone that can work his way up the roster, but he will be someone that has to make some plays on special teams and work his way up through training camp on the depth chart. Last but not least, pick 258, another cornerback, right? NAZEEH Johnson, another young man that I believe will and project to be more of a, hey, we got to get you on special teams. But at the end of the day, you're looking at the talent that they have, that they're bringing in at the cornerback position. It is a priority. NAZEEH will be able to help them, like I said, on special teams, work his way onto the roster. I don't have a lot of expectations for him defensively just yet. But again, that's why you draft them late, so that you can work with them. There's not much expectation, not much pressure. But you get NAZEEH Johnson onto the roster on special teams, allow him to develop his game. The Kansas City Chiefs did one thing and one thing only. They added toughness, they added length, they added athleticism, and physicality. All right, so that is the Kansas City Chiefs 2022 NFL Draft Class. Let me know what you guys think of their class. Be sure to subscribe and follow us over here at the Draft Network for all of your NFL draft and college football needs.